Hi everyone, this time I'm going to show you how to do a 3-stitch wide sucker for the Tentacle shawl. We're still using our US size 6 needles, our worsted weight yarn. Orange is still the B side, yellow is still the F side, and we're going to start facing the B side. After knitting the first couple of stitches in the usual double knit manner, we're going to start making a sucker. So we've knit the first 3 stitches. Now we're going to yarn over once and then purl with the F strand. So we have these 2 F color stitches next to each other, and then we're going to knit a B stitch in the usual manner, then yarn over with the F, purl into the F stitch, and knit into the B stitch. One last time, we're going to yarn over and purl, and knit. That gives us 3 places where we have 2 F stitches next to each other on the needle. It should look like this from the front, or rather the B side should look like that, and the F side should look like this. I'm going to pause this while I knit to the end and get back to where we will resume knitting our 3 wide sucker. Alright, now I've finished knitting to the end of that B row, and I've started knitting the F row, leaving off when I got to the first pair of F stitches that are next to each other. To do this next maneuver, we're going to need our cabling needle, or my preferred alternative, the bobby pin. I'm going to start by slipping the first of these 2 stitches onto the bobby pin and off of the left needle. When we do that, we'll also drop that second F stitch off of the needle, giving us 1 extra long F stitch, though not quite as long as the F stitches that we would have had when we dropped the stitches to create the 5-stitch wide and 4-stitch wide suckers. Then we purl the B stitch, and then repeat that process for a total of 3 times, slipping the first F stitch onto the cabling needle, off of the left needle, dropping the second F stitch, and purling, slipping, dropping, purling, and then finishing the row in the usual way. You want to keep that F strand that you carry along the front fairly loose so that it doesn't pinch the fabric of the piece. And you've got your 3 long stitches on your cabling needle together, giving you an F side that looks like this, and a B side that looks like this. To do the top row, we'll start by knitting the first few stitches in accordance with the pattern, just plain old double knitting them. And then knitting 1 more B stitch so that we have 2 of them on our right needle and 2 of them on our left. Then we're going to take all these 3 stitches on our cabling needle and put them on the left needle. Then, using our F strand, we're going to basically purl all 3 of these extra long stitches together, pulling the yarn through as if to purl, but not dropping the 3 stitches off of the left needle yet. Then, wrapping the F strand around our right needle from back to front, just like that, and then purling our 3 extra long F stitches together, and this time dropping them off of the left needle as you would for a normal purl 3 together. Then knitting these V stitches that are next to each other, and then double knitting to the end of the row. I'm going to do that now. Alright, now I've finished double knitting to the end of that B row, and I've started the F row. As you can see, I've continued going until we get to that first spot where we have 2 B stitches next to each other, and I've purled the first one, but not the second. We're going to take that second B stitch and slip it onto a cabling needle off of the left needle and hold it to the back of the piece. Then we're going to knit the first of these 3 F stitches that are side by side. Then we're going to take that stitch off of the cabling needle and put it on the left needle, giving us a B stitch between our F stitches that we can purl just like we would for normal double knitting, and then knitting the F stitch and taking this last F stitch from that run of 3 and placing it on the cabling needle and holding it to the front. You can see we've got 2 B stitches side by side. We're going to purl the first one and then put that F stitch that was on the cabling needle back onto the left needle so we can knit it, and then purl that second to last B stitch and finish the row in the usual way. As you can see, that gives us a wee little F color sucker on the F side and smooth fabric on the B side.